Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for joining this Tools in Action session about Docker Dev environment. Who I am? I'm Guillaume Lours, senior software engineer at Docker. I'm working in the collaboration team who is in charge of improving the dev flow of developer team. Mostly. So we are currently working on dev environment and other tools that we hope we can share with you soon. So at the beginning of the year, we were asking us how can we help to improve the dev flow from a team perspective. So we mostly most people of the team are developers. So that's our day-to-day problem also. So one of the most issue we all had was to even if we are working on a huge mono repo or on multiple project with a lot of collaborators on it, we usually need to switch between branches in Git, stopping what we are currently doing to check something else from, reviewing some pull requests from a teammate or testing a new feature and stuff like that. And every time we have to do that, we need to stash our work, switch to the new branch, get and maybe update or add new dependencies. And when you go back to your work, yeah, some bad things can happen to your environment. So we want to try to avoid this kind of problem. The other thing that we saw is that Git repo are awesome, definitely, but it's not the whole application. Source code is not the whole application. Usually, we can have a lot of dependency we need to install before running the app. We should specify some environment variable and stuff like that. And when you want to share this whole context with your teammate, it's not really easy, and that's why you can't always reproduce exactly a bug or a weird state of your application. So we try to address this issue. And the last one we want to address is one of the common issue all the team have is how can we onboard someone on a project, on an existing project really quickly and without having a lot of stuff to install on your machine. So imagine you just have Git already set up and your IDE, Docker desktop, and you're done. So that's what we try to do with Docker Dev environment. So we try to work local first. There is a lot of awesome technology existing for to work with Git repo on the cloud, such as Gitpod, Codespaces. There is also some stuff with Eclipse, but we want to keep that local first, the experience local first. We want to be agnostic from the IDE and also from the Git provider, so you can work with GitHub or GitLab or whatever you want. Yeah, as I said previously, we want to go one step further after the code. We want to be able to share something with more context than just the code. As you can imagine, at Docker, we try to make the user experience as great as possible. So we want this experience to be automagic. Yeah. And we really want also to be able to share what we are currently doing with the rest of the team within a click. And of course, because everyone loves Docker Compose, we want to make Docker Compose a first citizen of this solution. So let's start. So since the version 3.5 of Docker Desktop, you could see a new panel with a preview label, which the dev environment one. So in the main page, you have different stuff you can see. One is a quick video. If you don't have the change to assist to the real demo by someone by Docker, you can show this video. There is a link to give us some feedback, and we give you two samples. One with a single container dev environment and one with a compose-based one. Okay, so how you can create a new dev environment? Just create. There is a quick summary, and then you have three options: two main paths if you want to create a new dev env from an existing Git repository or from source code directly inside your hard drive, and you can choose to start an existing dev environment. So let's go to a Git repo. I just click to copy the link of the repo, and then just click on continue. And what Docker Desktop will do for you, it will clone all your source code inside the volume, which will be located in the Docker virtual machine. And then it will detect your main language to choose the right base image needed for your dev environment. When everything is set up, you have a dev environment created for you with a container available. And if you click on VS Code, it will open VS Code. VS Code will install some stuff to allow a remote work with container. And then you are able to just work as usual. So if I check my Git configuration, I can see that my local Git configuration has been mounted directly inside the container, so I can use the same configuration as locally, and I can work as usual. So I can check out a new branch. Just create a new branch, and yeah, and I can start coding. So we can see that it's really simple program which just start the server. So if I open it, okay, here we are. So let's modify a little bit this example. Fine. I will save it. Just retry to check everything is okay. Okay, I can see my work. So imagine I'm currently fixing a bug or working on a new feature, and I have, don't know, an unexpected behavior or something I want to check with my teammate, but I don't want to create a Git branch at the moment because it doesn't make sense at all. So what I can do is just click on the share button, use my account to create a new image, and click to share it. During that time, I will show you what it can take some time to upload the image. So during that time, I can show you that what we did during the dev environment implementation, because we are using a lot of volume. We at one moment we need a visual way to check that we have the right file in the right folder with the right authorization, and that yeah, we finished to add you a new feature inside Docker Desktop, which allow you to know which if a volume is used by a container, and you can browse all the file inside your volume. And that option is now available for everyone since a week or two. So yeah, if I check on GitHub, I can put on Docker Hub, I can see my new image, and I don't specify a tag directly, so I can use this one. And imagine I can just say to my coworker, hey, can you check what I did? So he will use the existing dev environment option, just put the tag of the image. And yeah, it was really fast because I was the one who uploaded the image, so everything was on my machine currently, so it was really fast. So the people need to pull the image and then are ready to work directly on that. As then you can see, even if it doesn't have Go install or anything else, you can see that he's currently on my on the branch I just created. You can see all the modification I did previously, but I didn't commit anything, so he can work, and he can also go run the same project and check that it's working pretty well, and help me to figure out what happened in my code, for example. Okay, cool. That's nice. It's a really good flow, because you can imagine, you can imagine that I'm working on a branch now. Okay, this one, and I want to do a Git review from to do a review from this branch from my team, my coworker. So I can click and use this one and just create a new one. As usual, I'm sick. I'm not using, okay, sorry. I don't use the right one. So I use directly the URL of the branch. That's a good example. You can see that I can have multiple version of the same application running, and be able to switch between all these version of the same application without stashing my work in progress and stuff like that. So yeah, I can use that, and you will see that I don't have all the modification I did on the other one. There is no the line I did before is not present in this one. If I go on Git and I ask for the branch, is saying that I'm using the copy from Docker I just pulled before. So everything is okay. So you can have multiple versions of the same dev environment available at the same time. But applications are usually more complex than just simple container running. We know that, and so we are able to use also compose project with DevOps. So this one is a simple application. It's a sample from the awesome compose repository, which contain a lot of compose samples if you want to start a new stack, I don't know, from Go using React, or from Java with MySQL database. And there is a lot of sample available. And this one is using a front end in React, a backend with a Spring Boot Java server, and not exactly MySQL, but MariaDB database. We use MariaDB because I'm using a Mac M1, and we don't have at the moment MySQL image available for this platform. So let's do quite the same. Just copy, create a new one. Yeah, but in fact, I already had this repo locally, so I will use the local directory and select the React MySQL sample. So it will build the compose stack. So depending of your project, it can take some time because you may have to download some images or build some containers and stuff like that. Obviously, for the demonstration, everything is already set up. I have everything in cache, so it can be fast, and I can show you what happened at the end. At the end, we have a dev environment ready with three containers already running. If I go there, I can see the application running. So the front end is calling the backend to ask the database who person he should say hello. Okay, that's it. So I want to edit, for example, the backend. So it will stop the container, create a new one with all the proper stuff needed. As you can see, during that time, my backend should not respond anymore to the front end. So let's fix that. The backend, the image used for this backend was defined in the Docker file of the backend. It's a Maven image, so I can obviously know the version of Maven, and of course it's coming with Java already installed. So let's go to the backend directory and ask Maven to start the Spring Boot server up. Let's go. So yeah, the first time you will have some download from the Maven dependency as usual, but you can also ask and define in your compose file. So inside the .docker directory, there is a compose file, and you can ask and specify in the backend that you want to add a volume to link directly to your local host, for example, local host Maven dependency. So you won't have to do that. So everything is up and running. I can click on the link created by VS Code, and I can show the payload of the backend API. And if I go there, I can just refresh and see that everything is okay. And we can, and we can work as usual inside a container for a whole application. What we did when you restart, when we stop and restart a container for dev environment, is that we remove the existing container from the compose stack, create the new one, and attach it in the whole compose stack. So you know how to talk to the other container existing in the same compose stack, so you can use all the DNS facility and everything will be ready and okay to be used. So that's cool, but what if I want to customize a little bit my dev environment? So at the moment, we have a .docker directory in which we can add some customization. There is a config.json file in which we can define if we want to use an existing image, or if I want to use a Docker file for my dev environment. So, for example, in this one, we use a dedicated Docker file, which is this one. And this one is just a base image from Golang, and we are using, we create some user from VS Code, and we are using this image which contain all the binary from Docker. Okay, so what the build will did, it will create a container, and inside this container it will copy Docker engine binary, the CLI, compose, and everything else. Okay, If I check another example, for example, the same but same project but on a different branch. I'm just using an existing image, which is an image defined for Go development. So I say to Docker Desktop, when you start this dev, use this image to start the IDE and just to be able to have everything needed to develop with Go. For compose, at the moment we need to duplicate the existing compose file inside the Docker one, and we can just change stuff. For example, for this one, we say we don't want to use the production target but the development one. We can change port, we can also mount specific volume and so on. And we are currently working on something more interesting that duplicate everything. So we will I hope really soon we can add a dedicated Docker file at the same level of the main one, just to override what we need for dev. Okay, so that's it. I think everything is available in the Docker documentation. So if you have or if you have any question, you can go to the Docker community Slack channel to ask question. Don't hesitate. Okay, so I show you the MVP we did. It was shipping last August, I think, something like that. So the idea, as you can see, is to make it really easy to spin up a new dev. Just copy paste a Git URL or pull an existing image, and you're ready to develop. At the moment, we just support VS Code and remote dev container. We are currently working on JetBrains IDE integration. You can share what you have done with your team via Docker Hub. And what we expect to do in the next release for the GA, for example, we want to have a full and complete support of Compose, especially to use Compose as a main file format to specify dev environment. So you should be able to define the name of your dev to just add just override what you need from your existing Compose file to set up a service as a dev environment, and so on. We want to support more IDE, of course. On the volume side, the coming next is right now available. You can browse your volume. It's free for all the user. So just enjoy that cool feature. And what we expect is to allow you to back up locally your volume, and also be able to share a volume, only a volume, and not a full container with something inside the container to fake share volume. So real volume sharing inside available with Docker Hub. And of course, add more feature on the way we can manage volume, add and remove things. For example, be able to drag and drop a file between your host and the volume and stuff like that. What we want to it's only one step of what we want to achieve. So what we want to go is to provide Docker Workspaces, so kind of new way to manage project for development team. Another idea we have is to be able to connect multiple Docker desktop together. So what I mean is, for example, if we take the same sample, the React Java application, if you have in your team someone specialized in coding Java API and someone really focus on the front end side, maybe they can work on the same feature and they want to try to connect their Docker desktop together just to test the backend version of the backend developer with the front end, with the new UI, of the front end guy, and try to be able to make it happen. And we have some interesting progress on that at the moment, so that's good. Automatic backup and update for team. It's kind of a subtask of the Docker Workspaces, but we want to let you know when there is a new version of your dev environment base image, or when someone in your team has pushed a new version and stuff like that. So that's it. And way more to come on completely different kind of feature.